Who's ready for some fall makeup? Well, I guess I have to admit, fall is finally here. I finally put my kayak away for this season. I might pull it out for a couple of winter kayaks if it's a sunny day, but other than that, it's off my car and stored away. So I guess that means we're into fall and winter. I have to come to terms with that. Today I'm going to be doing a full face of fall makeup featuring a very dramatic lip. If you're new here, I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything makeup, skincare, and style for the over 50 woman. I hope you'll consider subscribing while you're here and make sure you click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And if you're interested in more makeup, skincare, and style for the over 50 and over 60 woman, stop by prettyover50.com. There's a lot more great information just waiting for you there. We're going to hop right into this full face of fall makeup, and as always, all products that I use and mention today will be listed and linked below, so super easy for you to find. And with that, let's hop into it. Today I thought I'd do a couple of steps that I don't often do on camera that end up being really important in my makeup routine. All my skincare is done and I have moisturizer on my face, of course, so I have a nice dewy canvas to work with. One thing that happens when I put on all my skincare and my moisturizers is that I get a lot of product in my eyebrows, and it makes it difficult for the eyebrow products to go in and sit down nicely. What I do is use my Rimmel Stay Matte Powder. This is super affordable. I take a little eye brush, swirl it in there, tap it off, and then I just put that all through my eyebrows, back and forth, to kind of soak up that product and make it easier for whatever I use on my eyebrows to lay down and work well. So once I have that powder worked in back and forth, then I'll just take a little spoolie and brush that through. Because I'm doing a very dramatic lip today, I want to make sure that my lips are in really, really good shape. Oftentimes I will forget to exfoliate my lips, and I'll go a few weeks and I'll look at my lips and go, oh my gosh, those need to be cleaned off. One of the products I love to use is the little lip exfoliator from e.l.f. These are so reasonable and they work so well. It actually comes in a bullet lipstick form, so you put it on just like lipstick. I don't know if you can see it right there, but there's little granules in that bullet that exfoliate your lips. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on just like lipstick. You can feel the exfoliation as you're doing it. I'm pretty sure this is the grapefruit flavor. It smells so good and it feels so good. The bullet that the little granules are encased in is really moisturizing and really soft. So at the same time you're exfoliating your lips, you're getting this nice hydrating base. So once I have that worked over my lips, I just take my finger and kind of work it through a little bit more. Then I take a tissue and wipe it off. Now my lips are all baby soft and smooth. So I'm going to go ahead and put on my City Lips Clear Plumping Lip Gloss now to sit on my lips and kind of fluff them up a little bit while I'm doing my makeup. Today I'm going to start with the Prime and Fine Freshen Up. This is the Hydro Primer from Catrice. I really like this primer and it puts just a nice dewy foundation on my skin. So I'm just going to smooth that over my cheeks. I like to make sure I get it underneath my eyes so that my concealer lays down and acts nice. For eyeshadow primer, I'm using the Anastasia of Beverly Hills. Just a tiny little bit between two fingers, and on it goes. My eye look is going to be very soft today, so I want to make sure that all the lines and discoloration on my lids are covered up. And this is my most full coverage eyeshadow primer. It really does cover up all the veining and all the redness. Lays down a beautiful base for eyeshadow. I'm going to work on the foundation and other face products first today, which I don't usually do, but because the eye look is going to be fairly simple, I'm not too worried about much fallout. What I am going to put on my eyes while I'm doing my face is a coating of this little Wet n Wild Brûlée color right here. This is a little single, gosh, I think they're a couple of dollars at the drugstore. I just want this to lay down and settle into place while I'm doing the rest of my face. So that's just a thin layer on both eyes from top to bottom. I have the new fall color background here. I guess I'm going full fall. I don't know what happened in your area this year, but in my area, we had the most incredibly beautiful fall season. It was spectacular. The colors were so bright and dramatic. I actually took a couple of walks with a girlfriend along the river because the leaves were just so spectacular, and the whole time we'd be saying, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. The air was crisp, the sky was blue, the leaves were orange and red and golden. It was just glorious. For under eye corrector, I'm going to use the Beauty Pie. They call this the Super Luminous Under Eye Genius. I have to agree with that name. It's a peachy color like most under eye correctors, but it's super creamy and it's a little bit luminous, which I actually like. It seems to really help my under eyes look a lot fresher and a lot brighter. For complexion today, I'm going to be using the True Skin Hydrating Foundation. This is from Catrice. I have used this formula maybe once or twice before. I can't really remember how I felt about it, although I'll have to say pretty much all the Catrice products I've tried, I've loved. This particular foundation is so very popular, I thought I would give it a try today. This is in the color Warm Beige. So I'm going to start with a couple of pumps on the back of my hand and just dot that over my face. And I have some new brushes from Refer to try today. I'm really excited about these. This is their foundation brush. Oof. Feels really soft on the skin. That color match looks good. Just going to smooth that all over the skin. It feels light and hydrating. And it's blending in really nicely, very smoothly. That looks really, really pretty on the skin. It does look like skin, and they call it True Skin, so I guess they named it appropriately. I'm going to put just a little bit more on my brush and get my chin, which seems to break through a lot, and on my nose. This is a beautiful foundation. You know what's interesting is that it feels hydrating, but it doesn't feel real tacky. It just feels a little bit moist. I'm going to go ahead and press that in with my sponge. Gosh, I'm so glad I pulled that out. I really like that. It looks really beautiful and really natural. And of course, Catrice is so affordably priced. Okay, so here we have the foundation. Isn't that pretty? For under eye concealer, I'm going to use my Forever Skin Correct. This is from Dior. The Dior foundation in this line, the Forever Skin, is my favorite foundation. That's my fancy dress-up foundation. I finally tried the concealer and I really, really like it. As a matter of fact, I think I have 3 higher-end concealers now that I really love. I'll probably do a video on it soon. This is in the color 1.5N, and I picked this because it's a little bit more towards my skin tone than a lot of the concealers that I've been using lately. I generally like a brighter look underneath my eye, but today, because my lip is going to be so dramatic, I wanted to keep everything fairly subtle around the rest of my face. This is my BK Beauty 205 brush, which is my favorite for doing concealer. And you can see how nicely that color blends in with my skin. And in with my sponge. I have worn this concealer several times now and not set it, and it looks great. So I'm not going to set it today. I will definitely set the rest of my face and get a little bit underneath my eyes when I do that, but I'm not going to set my concealer specifically. Look at how nice that looks. Isn't that pretty? Before I set my makeup, I do go back in and tap down my foundation and concealer just to make sure that there's no lines or creasing. I can get creasing underneath my eyes and also in my marionette lines right here because they're fairly deep. They're not as deep as they used to be, but you know, I still have creases there. So I like to make sure that I really blend that area out well. I'm going to be doing contour and bronzer today. To contour, I'm going to be using my new favorite. This is the Fenty Beauty Cream Contour in the color Amber. The reason I like this for contouring so much is it has a gray undertone to it, so it really creates a nice shadow. So I'm just going to use this very, very sparingly today because I'm going to be doing both contour and bronzing. So underneath my chin, this is a great underneath the chin neck contour because of the coloring. It really does create just that beautiful subtle shadowing that helps my chin look a little less 60-something years old. And then up in my hairline. Now I'm going to go in with my sponge and just press that in and make sure those edges are very, very soft. Before I go in with bronzer, I'm going to use my Maybelline. This is the Instant Age Rewinder Perfector 4-in-1. It really kind of is a little bit of a magical formula to put some luminosity and glow on the skin. So I'm just going to pat that in with my fingers. And I want to put this underneath the bronzer to give my skin that kind of lit within glow. A little bit on the high points on my forehead. For bronzer, I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Bronze and Glow palette. I don't use this often, but I want a subtle bronze look today, and this color is very, very subtle on me. So I'm going to take my little e.l.f. tapered brush, dip it into that bronzer, tap off the excess, and go around those areas where I contour just a little bit heavier. And you can see how it's a very subtle bronzing color on me. This is a great choice if you like a very beautiful, natural looking bronzer. Really does just add this very sun-kissed glow on the skin. I'm going to wait and do blush and lipstick towards the end. So I'm going to jump into the eyes now, and I'm going to be using the Natasha Denona. This is the Mini Nude palette. I love this palette. If you haven't tried any of these 5-pan palettes from Natasha Denona and you've been thinking about it, I can highly recommend them. For the price, I think they're $25 now. I think they're excellent. The quality is gorgeous. The colors are spectacular. They're easy and fun to work. I think they're actually a really great buy. So I'm going to take the Rephr #1 brush and dip into this neutral beige color right here. And that's just going to go very, very lightly in the crease and down towards the outside corner of my movable lid. Now I'm going to go back in with that fluffy brush from BK Beauty. This is the BK Beauty 201 brush. Now I'm going to take a flat brush from Sigma and dip it into this darker brown right here, just a little bit on the tip of the bristles. And I'm going to run that along the lash line really lightly and up on the outside third of that movable lid and just a little bit into the crease. So the darker color is all focused on the outside third of my movable lid and along that lash line. Now I'm going to go back in with that 201 brush and just blend that out so it's very, very subtle. Now I'm going to take the LA Girl Precision Eyeliner. This is in the color brown, and I'm going to run that right along my lash line. I've made a little bit thicker of a line, and I don't worry about it being straight or clean or whatever, because I'm going to go back in with a smudge brush and smudge it out so it looks very, very smooth and kind of smoky. Same thing on the other eye. Now I'm going to take a flat smudger brush. You can see the bristles here are really short and stiff, and I'm going to run that along the lash line and smudge that line out. I haven't winged it up at all. It's just staying right along the lash line. It's still coffee time for me. So now I have that liner smudged out. You can see it's a very soft, smoky line along the lash line. Now I'm going to go back in with my finger and dip it into this shimmer shade right here. It's a very light, icy gold color. That's going to go right on my movable lid, and I wanted that eyeliner underneath this color so it really softens that line. Now back in with that big fluffy 201 brush and just smooth that line into the transition shade. You can see now that that eyeliner is just a smoky haze underneath that shimmer shade. I have a new eyelash curler. I'm so excited. This is from Rephr. It came in a collection of brushes from Rephr. I have never used a fancy eyelash curler before. I'm kind of excited. So let's see how it goes. Ooh, all right. This is great. It's not pinching my eyelashes at all. It has a different kind of flatter shape up here. I like that. Wow, look at how it curled my lashes. That's pretty impressive. So maybe higher end eyelash curlers really are a good thing. Like this a lot. It's not pinching towards the end of my lashes like my other curler does. I don't know what brand that other curler was, but it's gone now. This is my new guy. I'm going to tightline with my Milani Lay Liner. This is in the color Noir Cashmere. If you haven't used these liners, I can tell you they're really, really good. This Noir Cashmere, it looks like a black, but it's really a dark, deep charcoal color, which is a little bit softer than a deep, rich black. I like it a lot. And it's what I use to tightline with. For eyelash primer, I'm using the L'Oreal Luminous Primer Base. Love this stuff. I did order the Lancome Primer Base in the Ulta sale. I'm curious to see how it's going to stack up against this one. I'm just stunned at how curled my eyelashes are. I was so used to my other lash curler. I guess old dogs can learn new tricks. For mascara, I'm going to be using the Fenty Beauty. I actually picked this up in a little gift kit in the Sephora sale. I haven't used this at all. It comes with the standard mascara one. It's not one of the rubber ones, it's one of the bristle ones. We'll see how this does. Okay, what I'm seeing is a lot of lengthening, a little bit of volumizing, no clumping at all. And it's not too wet. You know how sometimes when you open up a mascara and it's just too wet and goopy? That's not the case with this one. It's just almost the right consistency. Here's one coat with the Fenty Beauty Mascara, and you can compare it against the other eye. Pretty good, huh? Certainly made my lashes look incredibly long. Okay, so here's two coats with the Fenty Beauty Mascara. Before I do blush and highlighter, I want to get the lip on so that I can tone the blush and the highlighter to the lip, which is really going to be the focus of today's look. I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Age Perfect Lip Liner. This is in the color Rich Cranberry. And for lipstick, I'm also using a L'Oreal formula. This is in the color Perfect Burgundy. Go ahead and wipe out that city lips. When I line my lips, I always line a little bit outside to give my lips a little bit fuller look. In addition, I don't bring the lipstick all the way out to the corners of my mouth because the corners of my mouth are a lot more creased in than they were when I was younger, and that lipstick will collect there and not make a very pretty look. So I always cut it in a little before I get to the corners of my mouth so I don't get that lipstick clumping up in that area. So you can see I just cut that line in a little bit before the corner of my mouth. And on the bottom lip, I always line along the outside edge of that vermilion line and again cut it in before I get to the corners of my mouth. Now I'm just going to smudge that lip liner onto my lip. Isn't that lip color gorgeous? For a blush, I'm going to be using one of the Milani Baked Blushes. This is in the color Red Vino. I love this blush. It is a deep, rich red with a gold shift to it. It's so very pretty. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, I love this one. I'll tell you what, you only need the tiniest amount. I'm going to be using my IT Cosmetics. This is their Heavenly Luxe Airbrush Blush Brush. I was turned on to this from Mrs. Melissa M. This is the best blush brush ever. She was so right. I was watching one of her videos and it was one of those things where I saw that brush and she demonstrated it so beautifully. I paused the video, went and bought the brush, and then went back to the video. It's such a good brush. I'm so glad she suggested it. So a little bit on my brush, and I'm going to keep it just to the high points of my cheeks. And look, you just don't need very much. It's a combination of this blush and this brush that makes it look so impactful. But don't worry, it looks a little scary right now. We're going to blend it in. So I'm just going to keep it at the high point of my cheeks, right up there. I'm going to go in with a big fluffy brush, blend that in. And then I'm just going to take my sponge and really press it in and work around the edges of that blush so it's a smooth transition from my cheek area to the rest of my face. For a highlighter, I'm going to go back into the Charlotte Tilbury Bronze and Glow palette. Get a little bit of this really soft gold highlight, which is going to tone out so well with the color of the eyeshadow and that gold shift in the blush. And I'm just going to hit the tops of my cheeks, a little bit on the front. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And I'm going to take just a small amount and hit right underneath my brows. And a little bit right above my brows. Just very, very subtly. With whatever's left on my brush, I'm not putting any more product on. Now I'm going to go in with my sponge again and just press that in. I want you guys to take a look at this concealer. It just looks so good. And remember, I didn't set it. And remember, I have very wrinkly, crinkly under eyes. But you can see it just looks fabulous. Now I'm going to take a little bit of my Milani Prep Set and Glow, swirl it around on my brush. And then that's just going to get patted around my entire face. This gives just the nicest luminous setting finish to my skin. Not too shiny, but just with a little bit of a pretty shift. Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Setting Spray. Here we have the finished look. I have to tell you, it was a lot of fun to put together a fall look. It's very different than the looks that I choose for spring and summer, so this was a real treat for me. The True Skin from Catrice, oh my gosh, you guys. This looks so beautiful on my skin. Very natural, very, very skin-like. I think the color works really, really well. This is 020 Warm Beige. I'm loving this foundation. And you know what? I think when I used it before, I used a different color. I think this color works really, really well for my skin. So a huge fan of this Catrice foundation. Drugstore price, beautiful formula, loving it. The Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer. Oh my gosh, love this one as well. You can see it underneath my eyes. I did not set this concealer and it looks terrific. I'm a big fan of this. There's a lot of product in here. Even though it's a little bit higher end, I think it's totally worth it. For this one, I'm in the color 1.5 Neutral. Loving this concealer from Dior. Again, high praise for these little 5-pan palettes from Natasha Denona. I think it put together a beautiful look today. There is a wide range of depth in this palette, so you could go very, very subtle like we did today, or a deep, more smoky look. This one is the Midi Nude palette. I have one more. I believe it's the Retro palette. I'll probably pick up a couple of more of these. I hope she brings out more colorways this winter. The Film Star Bronze and Glow palette. This is an iconic palette in the makeup community. I love having it in my collection. The bronzer is a little bit soft for me, except for the days that I want a very, very soft look. Then it just works perfectly, and I think the highlighter is just beautiful. This, again, is a little bit more higher end product, but I think it's worth it. It's going to last me a long time, and it's just perfect when I need that specific look. This eyelash curler from Rephr, oh my gosh. I'm so impressed. I've always used drugstore eyelash curlers. This is so much better, like not even a little bit better, so much better. This did not pinch at the corner of my eyes. It curled my lashes in a really, really dramatic way. So very glad that Rephr sent this to me. Thank you, Rephr. I am absolutely loving it. The Fenty Beauty Mascara, you know, I'm just a little bit on the fence about this one. The second coat did clump up a little bit. I can say it didn't wow me. I have drugstore mascaras that I think perform just as well and maybe even a little bit better. This is not a bad mascara. I just can't say it's my favorite formula. The Milani Baked Blush in Red Vino. Oh my gosh, is that just like the perfect color when you want a very strong lip? I love this formula. The little bit of gold shift makes it so very pretty. And the lip products from L'Oreal. This is Deep Cranberry in the lip liner and Perfect Burgundy in the lipstick. And you know what? They named that just perfect for me because for me it is the Perfect Burgundy. Love this lip combination. I've had it on for a little while now. My lips feel very hydrated. It feels creamy, comfortable to wear. So loving this lip combination. Well, today was first of many fall and winter looks for this season. I hope you found this fun, useful, and helpful. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, make sure you smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And if you're interested in more makeup, skincare, and style for the Over 50 woman, stop by prettyover50.com. There's a lot more great information just waiting for you there. I get so thrilled when you take a few minutes out of your day to spend it with me. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you. Again, I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything makeup, skincare, and style for the over 50 woman. Make it a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.